This is Never Down, Never Out with T.R. Matson. This podcast is about discipline when motivation fades, resilience when things get hard, and showing up when quitting would be easier. No hype, no shortcuts, just the mindset required to build something real. One day at a time. Let's get into it. Welcome back. T.R. Matson. Episode 76. We're in it. We're in it now. This is the home stretch of the second section here on the Never Down, Never Out podcast. So, for those, since I brought it up, I'll as well take 2 seconds to go back through it. The first 30 episodes, you can see it in YouTube. I've got them on their own playlist. Foundations of Mental Toughness, and then starting on episode 31. And that'll go until episode 90, Discipline, Habits, and Daily Execution. So, yesterday, talked a lot about discipline. Today, why repetition builds mastery. Episode 76. Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a master at doing a podcast. Far from it. I told you at the beginning, if you've been with me the whole time, I was going to be authentic. I was going to be open. There was going to be mistakes. Which was evident. Episode 0, I got plenty of comments about the audio quality, and it was a mistake. I had something clicked wrong, and you learn, right? No big deal. So I'm not a master at this, but let's talk about the process, just to let everybody who listens through this. So let's talk about my process for one episode. So I've got my list. That was a huge endeavor at the beginning, before this ever started. I wanted 365 topics. I know that to get a successful podcast going, to get a message out there, it's all about consistency. Now, if you watch Mover and Gonky Show, when I announced this and I said it was going to be daily, I think Mover was kind of shocked, which I don't blame him. That's to have an episode a day, even if they're short, 10, 20 minutes, that's a lot, right? And they have a different model for theirs, and theirs works great for them. So, but I have my list, right? And I go through my list, and today we're talking about repetition. Okay. So when I first started doing this, it was taking me a lot of time per episode. So I needed to streamline things. And there's things I learned over time. For instance, I focus primarily on YouTube. That just seems to be the smart play at the moment. And from there, it can spiral to other things. But there are a few elements that I need per episode. I found a good recording platform, so that's good. I made a thumbnail template because what I've learned on YouTube specifically is if it's not a slightly different thumbnail, you may not know that I've uploaded a new video, right? Okay, so I figured all that out. And then there has to be some bit of explanation on what the video is going to be. And then it has to be uploaded, scheduled, etc. So now what I do is I hop on, I look at my topic, I record, I hit stop. While it's uploading, I go open the PowerPoint, I build the JPEG thumbnail for this episode. That takes a minute less. And then usually the video has been uploaded by then. I can click on and add the intro and the outro and download the video, download the audio. And then by the time those are downloaded, I'm ready to put it up on YouTube, Spotify, etc. And I've really streamlined the process. So what does that allow me to do as somebody recording? Well, now instead of recording one episode and spending the next 40 minutes getting it online, scheduled, etc., I can knock out a couple topics in a sitting and have them scheduled further out. Well, how does that apply to mastery? Well, consistency is how we master something. So if I told you in the beginning I was going to do a podcast every day, but a month into it I stopped and it would just kind of come out here and there, I would lose people. I would lose the message. I wouldn't be living up to my own goals. Yet I would be sitting here talking to you about how to accomplish your goals. That's not very authentic. That's hypocritical. And I personally wouldn't want to listen to somebody who doesn't practice what they preach give me advice. So I knew I had to figure out a way to make this work. And that is, for me, streamlining the process, right? Taking out as much of the extras that I don't need in order to get as much work done in a short amount of time. Let's talk about other things in my life that I do this on. So we talked, I think, last episode about, sometimes my airline job has us deadheading. You'll see this. You'll see pilots, whether we're in uniform or not, sitting in the back on a flight. And you should 100% go up to a pilot sitting in the back in uniform and make the joke that they can't fly the plane from back there. We'd love that joke. Just kidding. But you'll see this from time to time. That's just how they move us around the system, right? Whether we're getting home, getting to another base to fly, in between, on the same trip. And what I learned very quickly is I really like to write on my iPad. I don't know why. I actually prefer writing on my iPad and that built-in Magic Keyboard, whatever it's called, than I do even my desktop. So the beauty is there's good Wi-Fi usually, and I can link up to the cloud and get my book and write. And I have nowhere else to go. So I'm maximizing that time that I would otherwise just be watching movies, sleeping, listening to music. And that is my go-to now when I deadhead somewhere. Sometimes I'll even pick up trips that have a long deadhead, knowing I need to get some work done and it's going to force my hand, right? So I've learned ways to use my environment to my advantage, vice the opposite. That doesn't mean it doesn't take discipline in the moment to pull out the iPad and get to work. It still does, but at least I'm giving myself a chance. So we need to go out there and we need to think about what our goal is and what we want to accomplish. And then the only way we're going to accomplish it is to put in the work. My son learning how to play baseball. When it comes to hitting, like fielding, he's gotten a lot better at. That just comes with age and some sort of repetitions. But with hitting, it really, truly has shown me like it takes the consistency of just going out there and swinging at the ball. Like there's, I can talk to him about form and I can talk to him about, where he should be looking and all these things. But ultimately what it boils down to is throw some balls and hit them over and over and over and over again. You look at professional sports players, right? I mean, professional basketball players, what do? They take shots over and over and over again. That's the only way you're going to master your craft. In the Navy, I saw this with specifically landing on aircraft carriers. The amount of practice landings that we would do at the field prior to going out to the boat, even after I had gotten my wings, even after I was in the fleet, trained in my aircraft, when it came time that we were about to go out on the ship, a good amount of time was dedicated to just flying the landing pattern over and over again, because history had told us that we needed that repetition to get back into it, because we all knew the skill, but it was different than landing on a 10,000 foot runway. And you can read it in the books, but the only way is going up there and doing it. So today what we need to look at is, what are you working on, right? Is it a skill? Are you trying to learn a new language? Well, you got to practice, right? Are you trying to build discipline? Well, then give yourself the opportunity to build discipline. Put it into your daily life and hold yourself accountable and do it day after day after day. Because if you don't, how can you imagine yourself learning that skill? And it's no different. Discipline's a skill just like anything else. So we often regress in life. You know, I've had the conversation with my son, and I'm sure I will with my daughter, where he wants to be good at something. And I'll look at him and go, well, are you practicing? And he goes, no. And I go, well, it's not going to just magically happen, right? I mean, it's a 1 in a million that you're just that good at something. So, you know, and even if you have a natural talent for something, the repetition, I'll take the work over the talent any day, because the person working wants it more, in my opinion. So let's look at what you're working on today and break it down into a very small. We don't need to go huge. We're getting to the end of this. Trust me, the next section is going to be a slap in the face, and you're going to want to listen to some of those stories. But right now, we're neck deep in the grind. And the grind is a very hard time. It's not pretty, it's not glamorous. You're maybe not seeing results, but you've put in the time. That's okay, that's normal, right? Keep putting in the time. The results will come. I promise you. Keep swinging at the baseball. Eventually you're gonna get good at it. You're gonna hit it. And that's what we need to focus on. So what are you working on today? And let's think of things that you can do. Repeatable things every day to get yourself closer to the goal. And hang in there. I know you're working hard. I know you are. If you're listening to this, if you've been with me this long, I know you're working hard. So just hang in there and keep going and don't give up. That is never down, never out. If this episode helped you, don't just listen, apply it. Progress is built in what you do after the message ends. Remember, never down, never out. I'll see you tomorrow.